Hello. I'm going to do a wonderful reading for my fabulous Virgos out there for April 1st to 7th, 2021. And I hope it's going to be a good one. Spring has begun and things are looking good. And I have a feeling we're going to have a great spring and summer ahead. So I guess we'll just dive right into it. I do want you to know that I shuffled a very long time before I started shuffling here. I never rely on the few shuffles I do at the beginning. So I always pre-shuffle very, very well. Because sometimes the same cards just tend to come up over and over again, and it doesn't seem real, even to me. So I have to make sure they're very well shuffled. So I'm just going to do a simple little 12 card reading for an overview of your month, Virgo. Ooh, nice start. This reading is very mixed, although more good than bad, but very mixed. You're going to have some ups and downs this month, I think, Virgo. Although, let's tackle it because it's never as bad as it seems when we're talking cards. The tarot cards for me are a way to look at things, figure things out, and then take actions that can change anything that's negative. You know, there are some things in life we can't change, but the things that we can change, we have great influence on. And you are very determined, Virgo, so you can pretty much do anything. You're very calculating, or at least most Virgos are. If you're not one of those, I totally understand. There are exceptions to everything in this world. But you guys are really good at getting the job done. So let's look at it and see where we are. There's a lot of good stuff in here, too. This card is the Eight of Wands, and it means something's coming in fast and furious. Something good. This is a really positive card. Action, 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 action. I love this card. It is a card that is often called the Arrows of Love. Sometimes it's a love relationship that's coming in fast and furious, very exciting and fast and all that good stuff. And being that it is right next to this card, the Two of Cups, it is very likely a love relationship. Sometimes if it's one that you already have, it means that there's, a resurgence of it, new feelings of love, new emotions about it, new action toward a closer relationship, all that good stuff that we love so much. So this card is really about a special bond between two people, something that's really, what people call a soul contract or something really close and special and, you know, something we really crave, most of us, to have that kind of really, really close-knit relationship with somebody. Now, it can be something other than a love relationship. It can be a business partner who you're very well connected with that you can probably have really good success with because of that fact. It could mean that there's this really special unity between two friends, that you've got this great relationship and this really great rapport where you can really, really connect at a deeper level. It's a beautiful card. It's a card that, is really and truly about a very, very special relationship. This card, the Five of Cups, sometimes we call it the spilled milk card. Somebody's looking tremendously sad over something that's gone wrong here, something they've lost. Could be something from the distant past, could be missed opportunities. I have to admit that lately I've been kind of guilty about this. There have been things that have passed through my life that I didn't take advantage of, and potential relationships and things like that I kind of dropped the ball on, or maybe did, or didn't pursue strongly enough. And so I've had some regrets about that kind of thing. But the upside of this card, somber as it may look, is this guy has a couple of cups standing up behind him. And whether it's two cups, two things that you might be overlooking that you should really be latching onto with great joy and happiness, it might even be more than that. I think the card is really about taking stock of what you do have and what you can do with it, and, not dwelling on the past or anything that is going wrong or has gone wrong, unless it's something you actually have to deal with. Don't Don't worry about what you haven't done. Worry about what you can do. Not worry. Sorry, I don't mean to say worry because I don't ever want to tell you to worry. You know, Virgos tend to have a lot of worries and concerns and heavy duty stress anyway, often. So I don't want you to worry. So do not worry, but be thankful and glad for what you do have and give it the full appreciation and love and attention and all the things that it needs to have, and don't worry about stuff that hasn't happened because there's no reason to. Now, this is pretty damn good. You've got some cool stuff here. This is the victory card, the Six of Wands. This is a really great card. Something good is happening or going to happen here. This is, a win for you, Virgo. This is something really, really great and, something where people will be impressed. It can mean fame. It can mean, at least that you're being recognized for something. People maybe look up to you. Maybe just about this one specific event, or maybe it's something that's going to be ongoing, but it's a really, really great card. I mean, it's definitely the card of the winner, so you've got that going for you. And this card, the Nine of Swords, it's kind of a sad card. It's usually about worry and tormenting yourself with negative thoughts, something you really don't want to do. Some people say it's a card of sleepless nights. I don't specifically think that's necessarily true, although you could have sleepless nights because of worry. But I don't think it's just a nighttime thing. It can happen at any hour of the day or night. But I do think that something is happening here where you're dwelling on something upsetting, or you're beating yourself up. You guys are such perfectionists that sometimes you beat yourself up about the most minor things, or you feel you have to do everything and you have to do everything perfectly and precisely. And, I understand that you're good at that, but that doesn't mean you have to do everything exactly to a T the way you feel it has to be done. Give yourself a break once in a while. And where this is concerned, whatever it is that you feel torment about, let it go. You don't need it in your life. You need to really latch on to what you can do. And there's so, so much that you can do. You've got a lot of wands in this reading, and that is action. So that's what you want to be doing, all these positive actions. You don't want to be, depressing yourself and tormenting yourself. Don't have any negative, sort of talk in your head to yourself. You guys tend to get really up in your heads. Really, whatever you're saying to yourself, make sure it's very good. Love yourself. You really have to. You need to. It's really, really important. You have every reason to love yourself, so just do it, because you're lovable and you need to do that. I mean, it's the way to go here. Don't be upset about anything. Live your life in a really in a way where you're really, catapulting into the future. I know you guys tend to sometimes overthink things to the degree that you hesitate and you second guess yourself, but you don't have to do that. Everything's good. Don't torment yourself, please. And, I'm not trying to make too big a deal out of this card, because basically this is a very good spread. This card is fairly minor. This one can be difficult if you really get too up in your head and you torment yourself a lot. I mean, that's a habit you have to break, and breaking a habit is not always easy. The devil is right next to that. The devil can be about obsessions and addictions and things that you do too much, things that there's just so much in the devil. It's not as dire a card as people think it is. It really isn't. I mean, it's all stuff we can work with and change and do. I'm going to guess. I could be wrong. Please tell me if I am, or if I'm right with you, because I'm interested. I want to hear what people think of these readings and how they work out in your real life. I'm going to guess that because these two cards are right together, this has to do with obsessing over you being a perfectionist, or obsessing over you feeling you didn't do something right, or you're beating yourself up, or you're not, good enough to do whatever. You guys are really interesting, Virgos. They're a sign that's really complicated, because you guys are really, really clever and really interesting and witty and have all these things going for you, but you are really hard on yourself sometimes. So I'm just going to guess that's what that is about. If you have some other thing that you are doing, whether it be too much drinking, too much pot smoking, too much shopping, too much, you know, of anything, all work and no play, whatever it is, you think about it and see if you can alter that. But I don't want you guys to be tormenting yourselves. That's absolutely mandatory. And it's kind of interesting that this is here. This card is, sometimes we call it the Wounded Warrior card, because this fellow is doing his work. He's good at it. He's getting stuff accomplished. That's fantastic. But he's a little wary. He's a little bit, defensive maybe about everything. And, maybe that's you. Maybe you've got some of those feelings. You have to let your guard down a little sometime to get the thing accomplished, which is difficult. But you can do it, because look what you've got here. I mean, here we've got all these great cards, and you've got the Sun, probably the happiest card in the deck. It's all about childlike joy and experiencing childlike joy. So I'm hoping something happens to you this month that's really fantastic. Some really amazing, amazing event, whether it's love or a new partnership of some kind, or something fantastic where you emerge victorious and you are just overblown with happiness and that feeling of, the sun on your back and freedom and just, everything good, everything good. And these cards are all pretty good. This card can be a little bit argumentative. There might be some arguments going on in your life or some kind of conflict. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always have some kind of argument or conflict going on in my life in some area. It might be very, very short-lived, but there's always something, somebody I don't agree with or whatever. And I know you guys can be very strong in your convictions, so even though you're not always super forward, when you are, it's because you have a strong conviction about something, and that is not a bad thing, So I'm sure you know how to pick your battles as to which ones are worth getting in an argument about. This one here is a card of somebody looking over their life, over their past, evaluating things. What am I going to do next? What am I going to do? What's my life all about? I've got to figure this thing out. We're always doing this from practically the day we're born. Maybe the day you're born, you're not looking back to your past, but you are trying to figure everything out. And so, our entire life is a series of evaluations as to what to do next, basically. And sometimes we have to kind of think and consider and really kind of, actually think about it, not just sort of think about it in brief little spurts, but kind of go, wow, okay, I've done this and I've done this. Now what am I going to do? And look at all our options, because we have many. The Wheel of Fortune is a great card because it is, I find, a very lucky card. It means luck is coming your way. So something good is going to happen this month, I think. I don't know what it is, but, because it's a general reading and I, can't home in on any one thing when I'm reading for many, many people. But I have a feeling you guys have a lucky streak going this month. I'm not quite sure what it is. Hopefully, since it's right next to the devil, hopefully it's not gambling. But if it has to be, I hope you win, because there's some luck here. I'm not recommending you gamble. Trust me on that. But as long as you only gamble what you can afford to lose, and it's relatively minor, I guess it's not a big deal. Not that most people gamble that way, but I'm just trying to be reasonable here and give you the best advice. Something good's going to happen. This level of happiness is not an everyday event, really. It just kind of isn't. I'd say the Sun is one of my lesser drawn cards. I'm not saying it never comes up, but it's not a card that comes up constantly, unfortunately. And I think that's because most people don't experience that kind of joy that often. And the Ten of Pentacles is a fabulous card. It's about completion. It's about, the tens are all about completion. It is a card that is about family, extended family, happy home, inheritance sometimes. It can mean, you're very secure financially. I mean, you guys tend to be really good with carrying things through to the end. So you're usually good with finances, very organized and all of that good stuff. So this is a beautiful card. You know, you've got this really great bunch of cards, but I am worried that you're up in your head a little too much, worrying. Actually, that's a terrible phrase, being up in your head. We should be up in our heads. We're cerebral creatures. We should be thinking a lot. But just, you know, push those thoughts into a really positive, good place. Don't dwell on the negative. That's really, really important for you. I want to see you have a fantastic month, a great month, a happy month, a terrific month, something groundbreaking, you know, something groundbreaking. I really want you to have something super special happen this month. So when it does, please let me know, and I will talk to you soon, and we will have another reading right around the corner. Take care.